Hej allihopa! I'm Alexandra. Welcome to my channel and to this video. Today I'm doing another pregnancy update. We are doing weeks 20 to 23 because today I just went into the 24th week of pregnancy. So let's do it. So first off, I thought that I would start with where I ended, I guess, the last video, or what happened right after I filmed that, kind of. I said that I had an ultrasound coming up a few days after I filmed that video, and I did. Unfortunately, my anxiety just rose the closer to that ultrasound we got, because I still couldn't feel any clear movements of the baby. And the day of the ultrasound, I had it in the afternoon. The entire day I kept starting to cry. I was at work and I had to kind of leave, you know, like go to the bathroom and stuff just to cry, because I was so scared that we were gonna get to the ultrasound and it was gonna turn out that the baby had died, or I don't know. I was just very, very concerned, and that's kind of one of those things where it's not maybe beneficial to have the other pregnancies to compare this one to, because I knew that with all my other pregnancies I have felt lots of movement by this point. This was at week 21, at the beginning of week 21. I think. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, we got to the ultrasound and I told the midwife, or are they midwives, the ones who do the ultrasounds? I don't know. Anyway, I told the person doing the ultrasound that I was very worried, that I still wasn't feeling any movements, and that I was hoping that my placenta was at the front of the uterus, and that would be like an explanation. And she put the wand on and she was very quick to say, oh yes, we have, like, everything looks good here, we have a heartbeat and everything. Because she could obviously tell that I needed to know right away. And then, as I remember it, just maybe half a minute or something after that, she said that, yeah, you're right, you have the placenta at the front of the uterus. So basically, the placenta is positioned like kind of like a cushion at the front of my belly, so that's why I couldn't feel any of the movements, because it was like cushioning the movements basically. And then we had the rest of the ultrasound. She checked lots of things. She was very, very nice and was just like, oh, this baby looks so perfect. But the baby was positioned, well, I guess I just realized that I have already revealed the gender. So yeah, the boy, was like looking at my spine. That's the way he was positioned. So from like the front, from the belly, she had a hard time seeing some things that she wanted to see. She wanted another angle of his heart, and she wanted another angle of the genitals before she could tell us like that she was pretty sure that it was what gender it was, you know. So she actually told me, she was like, can you come back in an hour? And I was like, yeah, I guess I could. So she said, go drink something really sweet, like cola or something, and eat something sweet, and that could make the baby like change positions just from the sugar rush, I guess. So I did that. I came back. Sorry, I have some heartburn. I came back and she said, yeah, we'll see what we can see. And then I think kind of the midpoint of that ultrasound, she was like, oh yeah, now I can see the heart. So I guess he moved. And then she checked the genitals again and she said, yeah, I am pretty dang sure that this is a boy. So that's how we found out that it was a boy. I was actually alone at this point because Michael had to go pick up the kids from preschool. So this like second part of the ultrasound, I was by myself. So I found out about the gender on my own, which I don't mind. It was it's kind of a funny story or something to remember, you know. But yes, so it's a boy. If you haven't seen the gender reveal video, it's a boy. Everything looks good, everything looks healthy and the way it should, growing the way he should, and I wasn't moved, like my due date wasn't moved at all. She said that he's growing at the like perfect rate, so I am still on August 13th. That's the due date. Yeah, that was ultrasound. Let's go into symptoms. Since I've already talked about the baby movements thing, I'm going to start out with that. And I have written down, the ultrasound was at 20 plus 1 days. At 20 plus 3 days, I could feel 3 kicks on the left side of my belly. So I guess before that he had mostly moved like in the front, and that's where the placenta is, so I couldn't feel it. Now I got like 3 distinct kicks on my left side where I kind of knew that, yeah, this is definitely baby. This isn't like, I don't know, some other organ just spooking me. So that was very nice. And then since the 21 to 22 week turnover, so kind of that weekend where I switch over, since then I can feel him every day, but pretty faintly. And then since 22 plus 1, which is almost a week ago, I feel very like distinct strong movements. I feel them several times a day, and it's just incredibly reassuring for me to just, sorry, the heartburn again. Heartburn is getting worse. I can just throw that in there right away. But yeah, I feel him lots now, and it's very reassuring. A couple of times we've been able to feel him from outside the belly, so Michael could put his hand on my belly and feel it. I think he's felt it once, and a couple of times when I put my hand on my belly, I've been pretty sure that I would have felt it with my hand even if I didn't feel it from inside, you know. As weird as that sounds. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last update, but this has been going on since week 17, and that is, I don't know what it's called because there seems to be so many different words and things. Round ligament pain or pelvic girdle pain, or I don't know. But I've had it with all of the kids. I recognize it. I know what it is. I was a bit not startled, but a bit like surprised to have it start at week 17. It felt like very early to have those pains start. But yeah, so I have some pain in my hips and back and everything, but mostly for me so far it's just smack dab on the pelvic bone. Basically that's where I have the most pain. Some days I kind of feel it every time I take a step. Some days it's mostly in the evenings if I've moved a lot during the day. But yeah, it's pretty much always there in some capacity. Some days are better than others, and yeah, like I said, if I've been moving a lot throughout the day, if I've had a busy work day or whatever, I definitely feel the effects in the evening. I also have quite a bit of pain in my stomach, and it's not something that I'm concerned about or worried about. It's just a lot of different kinds of uncomfortableness and pain around my belly. So I think sometimes it can be kind of like kind of that pain that you can have when you have gas, or just, yeah, like things that can happen even when you're not pregnant. Other times it feels more like stretching and stuff, which is probably very connected to the pregnancy. I just feel like I have more pains than I have with the other pregnancies, but who knows, my memory is not the best. I think I forgot to mention in the last update that around week 16 to 18 I started kind of peeing myself. I had a cold and I coughed a lot, and like every time I coughed, at least if I was very much needed to go to the bathroom, I would pee myself a little. And at this point when I had this going on, it's kind of gone away now, mostly, but when it was going on, I kept saying to people, I've never been through this before, and I've had 3 pregnancies before. And then I watched one of the pregnancy updates for Myranda's pregnancy today, and I was talking about it there. Apparently I had to use panty liners and everything. And somehow I have like blocked that out of my memory because I thought that this was the first time with this pregnancy. So yeah, my memory is not reliable. Another symptom that I don't remember, again, if I have talked about with my other pregnancies, but that I can definitely see when I'm looking back at vlogs, is face pigmentation. Is it called melasma? I can't remember what it's called, but I know that I have read about it before, and that is when you, or like a pregnancy mask, I think it's also called, when you kind of get darker pigmentation on some parts of your face, and I feel like that is starting to happen now, and to my memory, I didn't notice it when I have been pregnant before. But like I said, I can see it now when I'm looking back at videos. So I think I've had this before, I just haven't really paid attention. I'm not super bothered by it. I think it's also kind of coinciding with us getting more sun now in Sweden and my freckles starting to come out, or like starting to show because of the sun. And so maybe it's just kind of a little bit of both, I think. But anyway, it's not something that bothers me. I just noticed it the other day. Another symptom that I probably have had for a few weeks, even like before I filmed the last update, I just haven't thought about saying it in the video, is a stuffy nose. I have that every now and then, and of course it's hard to tell if it's that you're actually like getting a cold, because at my work there are colds going around all the time because I'm a preschool teacher and the kids get colds every now and then too. But I do think that I have that kind of pregnancy stuffy nose every now and then. And also Braxton Hicks. Yeah, Braxton Hicks have started. They're not painful or anything like that. I can just feel my uterus getting like super hard every now and then. It happens every day, a few times a day probably. And I have noticed that it usually happens when I am just sitting down or laying down. And I don't know if that's the case, that's usually when it happens, or if it's just that when I'm on the go, when I'm doing something, I'm not paying attention as much and I'm not noticing it. Because I feel like I've heard that it mostly happens if you're active, or when you're active, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, it's happening. I know it happened with Myranda at this point as well, and yeah, it's no concern. It's just a fact. Heartburn is not fun. I also wrote down my weight gain, and so far in this pregnancy I've gained about 3.5 kilos, which I think is about 7.7 pounds, and that's not a lot. I think it's less than I've gained with any of the other pregnancies, I think, and that's good. Because like I've talked about before, because I started at a higher weight this time and a higher BMI, the recommendation is for me to gain less weight throughout the pregnancy. I am still not like in the hopes that I'm going to be able to fit into that like weight gain window that they've given me. I think they said between 7 and 10 kilos, I think. Because I know that the weight gain just rapidly increases at the end. For the last couple of months at least, but so far at least I haven't gained a lot of weight, and I think it's partly that I'm not craving as much like calorie heavy stuff as I have with the other kids, and partly that we are poor, so we can afford takeout and stuff as much as we had it with the other ones. At least when I was pregnant with Myranda, we were also kind of in a mentally bad state because Michael, my husband, wasn't feeling well, and so a lot of the time we just ended up getting takeout so that we didn't have to cook and so that we could just kind of relax all evening. And now we live far away from all the takeout places, and like I said, we are struggling a little bit financially like everyone else, so that's probably contributing to this too, and it's a good thing. The last thing I wanted to mention is that I finished my first knitting project for the baby, I think 2 days ago. It's a pair of, are these called dungarees? They look super small on top and then the legs just go on and on, but that's because this part is very stretchy. But yeah, they're tiny little green dungaree pants. They are not in a newborn size. I think there's 3 to 6 months, because I just figured in summer we're probably not going to want to put this on the baby anyway. But yeah, that's the first project I finished. And then right as I was finishing this, I found a blanket pattern that I wanted to try for the baby, and also I have lots of this yarn left, so I started that and finished that just like an hour ago. So here is the other project for the baby that's finished. It's got this like diamond pattern. I hope you can see, because I can't see the viewfinder right now, and then tassels at the bottom, and I am planning to have this in the stroller. We have a gray stroller, well, the stroller is black I guess, but the cot thing, the thing that the baby's in, is gray, and I think this is just gonna look cute there in the stroller. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So since I just finished this, I'm already planning what to do next, and I might do a little hat in this same yarn because I want to use it up. I'm sick of this yarn now. Or I might just do something completely different, but we will see. Anyway, I think that's it. Oh, we need to do belly shot. I am having so much fun looking at the belly shots from Theo's and Myranda's pregnancy and kind of comparing. Now I don't think that I'm as big as I was with Myranda. I keep feeling like everything's happening so quickly, like I'm getting Braxton Hicks early, I'm getting pelvic pain early, and I felt like the belly was kind of early also, that it was very big, but I don't know. It was probably bigger with Myranda, I think. Yeah, let's just take a look. I don't know. I feel like I look super pregnant in real life, like in person, but when I see myself on the viewfinder, like on the camera, on camera, I don't know. I just don't feel like it looks as big as it does in real life. It's strange. It's a very strange thing. Anyway, please like the video if you liked it, and we will see you in a week. Bye bye.